about the head of service under her watch.
Sequel to our 7 days ultimatum and failure of the federal government act by sacking the head of service for gross misconduct, as well as our inability to honorably resign due to the retrogressive policies, we are here today to sound another note of warning on the office of the head of civil service of the Federation and demand that justice be done for the greater good of Nigerians. Instead of facing the issue we have previously raised and address them appropriately, the office of the head of service decided rather to deny all the allegations with unsubstantiated points.
However, a statement from the head of service of the Federation, signed by Director of Communications, Abdulganiyu Aminu, denied the allegations, insisting that embargo on employment was still in force.
Now, the Joint Nations and Matriculation but says there may be no extension of the registration deadline for 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Now, the JAM Registrar Ishak Olayade said this while monitoring registrations in some Lagos centers. He said almost 600,000 UTME and direct entry candidates had been registered. Now, the JAM registrations started across the country on February 19th and will conclude on March 26th. The registrar noted that with the level of progress made already, he did not foresee the need for an extension. The federal government has replaced the use of seals by professionals and contractors in the mining and geoscience sector with digital stamps. Now, federal government says the stamps, which bear the name of the professional, company name and number, will help check quackery in the profession. Minister of Mines and Steel Development Olamilekan Adegbite, who made the disclosure, said henceforth anything that does not have the stamp in the ministry and agencies will no longer be recognized. The minister, who said this in Abuja at the official launch of the digital stamp by the Council of Nigerian Mining Engineers and Geoscientists, stressed that the decision will equally be taken to the Federal Executive Council to approve its usage in all ministries, agencies and departments of government for mining engineers and geoscientists. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission has fixed a date to hold the ongoing nationwide continuous voter registration exercise. The spokesman to the INEC chairman, Rotimi Oyekami, said the electoral body might suspend the exercise in July. He made this known to reporters on the sideline of the ongoing two-day editorial capacity building workshop for INEC Building Affairs officers in Lagos. Now, Oyekami stated that INEC decided to disclose the date for suspension in order to dissuade Nigerians who were waiting for the last-minute rush before registering. He said that the Commission was impressed by those who had completed both the online pre-registration and the physical capturing of biometrics and further urged Nigerians, especially those who are qualified but have never registered before, to do so before July. When Newslive returns, the Lagos state government says it would probe the use of petrol as souvenir at a party held at an event center in the state, as seen in videos that have gone viral on the internet. Now, details of these and more comes to you right after the break. Do stay tuned.
Feel the spirit, feel the rhythm. It is a moment for worship and praise, a time to connect with the Lord. Right here on Gospel Light, I bring to your home screens everything the gospel, from musical countdowns to having your favorite gospel artist right here on the program, and as well reporting any gospel event around your area.
You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. All power belongs to you.
Well, I feel blessed and privileged.
Enquiries for sponsorship for advertisement, do contact us on our email at gospellight.ng@gmail.com. You can as well follow us on our social media platform on Instagram at gospellight.ng, and you can also contact us on 081-3216-1451. Do remain blessed. This is where we get to have your favorite celebrities sit down, rock our chair for you to get to know them better.
This is something, is not a business that everybody knows.
When you're DJing and you play, there's one song that you can just drop and everybody just like, hey.
So don't panic too much and don't scream, oh, keep the ball to me, because most of the time when people do that, as soon as they give it to them, they lose the ball.
Right, because I'm from the north, I'm from Kaduna, so it's something that's been really close to me, and I've known people directly and indirectly that have been affected by it, so it's something I'm really passionate about.
He's been waiting longer than me. Then he started saying, oh, you're not sorry, you best give me my money so I can get out of here, or put me on a flight now.
So as a businessman, what industry in Nigeria would you say is the most lucrative?
So obviously we can talk about the main ones that everybody knows. Whiskey, Davido.
Watch Celebrity Q&A with Lanzi on Viewer Television, channel 191 on Startimes and channel 2097 on Tstv. Viewer Television, giving you your voice.
Welcome to Top Cuisines. On this episode of Top Cuisines, I'm going to be meeting up with celebrity chef Vera, and we're going to be exploring the world of Nigerian cuisines. Like, you know, Nigeria is blessed with beautiful flavors, beautiful food combinations that have been, you know, discovered over time. Guys, I just had to share this with you. It is to die for. It's not common, it's baked chin chin. It's absolutely amazing, and the yogurt was also very nice, very rich, very stiff.
Watch Talk Cuisine on Viewer Television, channel 191 on Startimes and channel 2097 on Tstv. Viewer Television, giving you your voice.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Newslive on Viewer Television. A recap of our top stories. INEC fixes dates to suspend continuous voter registration. Lagos State Government to probe use of petrol as souvenir at Party Plus. Protests in Paris and Berlin over Russia action on Ukraine. Now let's take it to Kano State, where the governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, said President of Niger Republic, Cameroon, Chad, and Central Africa have indicated interest to fully patronize the multi-billion naira project after its inauguration. Now, this was contained in a statement by the governor's chief press secretary, Abba Anwar, issued to newsmen in Kano on Saturday. According to Anwar, Ganduje made the revelation when he paid an assessment toll to the facility, where he was taken round by the chairman of Inland Dry Port, Sahabo Baburo, and the managing director, Ahmed Rabiu. Now, he said the four presidents of those countries have all agreed to get across to Kano and send their officials to come and discuss with authorities over the modus operandi of the new dry port before its inauguration. He further called on the would-be managers of the port to make sure that they run everything digitally. The Kano State chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress has disassociated itself from plans by the state government to cut the take-home pay of workers for the month of February by returning the old salary scale. The state chairman, Kabiru Binjabi, at a press conference said the Congress has disassociated itself from the alleged government sabotage plan. Minjabi said the government told Labour it could not pay 30,000 naira minimum wage to workers due to a shortfall in the FAAC allocation accorded to the state. He disclosed that the union met with the government and made 3 recommendations on how to go about the issue, adding that the government accepted 2 of them but turned down the one that has to do with the commitment of paying workers with a shortfall in their salaries once the FAAC allocation of the state improves. Now let's take it to Lagos State. The Lagos State government says it would probe the use of Petrol as Souvenir at a party held at an event center in the state as seen in videos that have gone viral on the internet. Information on the kegs indicated that the petrol in mostly blue and white containers were distributed to guests at an event tagged a Relu Okin Foundation installation party. Nigeria has been hit by a scarcity of petrol, with motorists queuing up for hours to fuel the vehicles or buying at the black market at prices tripled the official rate. Apparently, the organizers of the party had, with the ongoing scarcity, considered petrol a valuable enough commodity to be given away as souvenirs to guests at the party. Reacting to the video, Lagos Commissioner for Information and Strategy Benga Omotosho said there was no doubt that the action was dangerous and could lead to loss of lives and property, and it was against all safety measures in such places. The Executive Secretary, MTN Foundation, Odunayo Sanya, has emphasized that a major way to effectively bridge the gap in the Nigerian education system is through partnership and collaborative efforts. Odunaya, who made the ascension during a webinar of the Association of International School Educators in Nigeria, shed light on how the revision of the students' curriculum, community learning, collaborative work, and sustainable efforts can aid in bridging the gap. Now, AISEN is a forum through which members access training, advice, and practical assistance. The association provides networking opportunities for educators to share, help, and support on professional matters. The Executive Secretary disclosed that one of the venues the MTN Foundation collaborates to bridge the gap in the education sector is by making data available to students at various public learning institutions in partnership with the government and other ecosystem partners. Now, the Executive Governor of Gombe State, Inuwa Yahaya, has approved the payment of external examination fees for 23,680 final year students of secondary schools across the state. Now, the Commissioner of Education, Dauda Zambok, disclosed this to journalists at the close of the 23rd session of the State Executive Council meeting held at the Exco Chamber. He said the state executive council expeditiously granted approval of over 435,272,900 naira for the payment of WAEC, NATEB, and NBAIS examination charges. In the same vein, the Commissioner of Works, Engineer Abubakar Bapa, also told journalists that the council approved the construction of 6 roads across the states. Now, Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State has described the new Ata Igala Matu Opalua as a man of impeccable character who has been worldly selected in conformity and traditions, equity and fairness. Now, Bello made this known in Ida when he visited the Ata at his palace before the official installation and presentation of staff of office. Now, the governor commended the hitch-free process in the selection of Apalua as Ata of Igala, adding that the event would also be hitch-free as the people were happy with his selection. Responding, the Ata Igala thanked Bello for ensuring fairness, equity and due process was put in play in the selection process.
That culminated into the selection of Ata Igala that we have today. We appreciate God Almighty. He is of impeccable character and he's a fulfilled personality, highly respected within his domain, within the country, and across the world. We're proud of him.
Responding.
I thank God for your presence here. Where I am today, with my able governor say I cannot be around here. No. I always pray to God, give me insurance to act my service. Having given me this opportunity, the mercy governor will not disappoint.
And on 2023 general election, the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Tinubu, said his presidential ambition come 2023 is neither a threat nor to brag but a reality. Now, Tinubu, who sought support of traditional rulers in Ondo State for his ambition, stated this at the palace of Deji of Akure. The 2023 presidential aspirant had earlier met the traditional rulers from the southern part of the state in Okitipupa and also had a meeting with traditional rulers from the northern part of the state in Owo before the Akure meeting with traditional rulers in the Ondo Central Senatorial District. Now, he explained that the presidential candidate should have wisdom on how to govern a large crowd, saying he has what it requires to rule Nigeria. Now, the national leader said he had passion for the country, citing many struggles he had fought during the nascent democracy and those that benefited from his political stance. Nigeria has joined the growing list of African countries that have evacuated their citizens as a result of Russian invasion. Now, this is as a result of the approval of funds by the president on Wednesday. Viewer Television Jennifer Okolo was at the airport when the second batch of Nigerians landed in Abuja. The report.
The Federal Executive Council approved the sum of $8.5 million to facilitate the evacuation of about 5,000 Nigerians from Ukraine, Slovakia, Hungary, Poland, and Romania, and arriving right now at the second batch of returnees who are just touched down the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. They are seated and waiting for further information and instruction from the host of humanitarian agencies that have been waiting to receive them.
This evacuation exercise follows Russia's war on Ukraine, which resulted in the deaths of thousands of people and the displacement of many more. Over 5,000 Nigerians have been displaced by the fighting,
The majority of them are students studying in Ukraine.
It was stressful.
Sharing their experiences, some of the students expressed joy in returning home despite the difficulties in accessing transportation to safety.
Only allowed, first of all, they started allowing their white women before they allowed their white men, before they now started allowing black women. Sometimes in some trains they had to drag some black men out of the train basically. So it was basically based on racism.
I didn't experience racism, but I heard people did. But yeah, that's it.
We suffered. Suffered a lot. We trekked for hours. Me personally, I trekked for days. I suffered.
Speaking on the success of the evacuation, the Director, Legal Service Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Bolaji Akiremi, says he takes joy in saving lives, adding that more evacuation will be carried out in due time, even though more nationals are not willing to come back.
We don't know how long the war will be, because we were asking after some that we know they are in Ukraine, and they are still insisting they are not leaving. So there are still a lot of Nigerians that have not even decided to leave Ukraine.
Meanwhile, it was an atmosphere of happiness as the students reunited with their parents and loved ones. Many expressed joy, with some parents thankful to the federal government for coming through for them.
I am so happy, and I thank all the Nigerian government. I thank our president for this great job, and I pray may the Almighty God continue to bless our Nigerian government.
As Nigeria continues to await more evacuations of its citizens, it is hoped that the war raging in Ukraine will come to an end sooner than later, so that more students can return to the schools. Jennifer Okolo, Viewer Television News, Abuja. And on news around the world, protesters are gathered outside Russia's embassy in Paris and Berlin in protest against the Kremlin's ongoing aggression on the border with Ukraine. The peaceful protest is in solidarity with Ukraine as protesters bear placards with several inscriptions to express their displeasure on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, Russia has described the United States and European Union as economic bandits, following the economic sanctions against the country amid the invasion of Ukraine. Now, Kremlin Press Secretary Dmitry Peskov threatened that Russia would respond to the economic banditry, though he did not specify the nature of the response. He noted that Russia was a big country that cannot be isolated from the world. However, the U.S. has also considered freezing the $643 billion in reserves of the Russian central bank amassed by Putin and freezing assets of Russian obligats. Still on Ukraine-Russia crisis, Russia declared a partial ceasefire on Saturday to allow humanitarian corridors out of the Ukrainian cities of Mariupol and Volnovakh. Russia's defense ministry said. Now, Ukraine said it planned to evacuate 200,000 people from Mariupol and 15,000 from Volnovakh, with the Red Cross acting as the guarantor of the ceasefire. Now, meanwhile, Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Irina has warned that Russia must not take advantage of an agreed humanitarian corridor to advance its troops. She said her government was verifying information that Russian troops were using the ceasefire to move closer to Ukrainian positions in areas along the evacuation route. Now, she's also confirmed that the International Committee of the Red Cross mediated the talks on the ceasefire and will head the evacuation columns along the agreed route out of the cities.
9 годин ранку за українським часом сьогодні, 5 березня, у двох напрямках – Волноваха, Маріуполь. Станом на зараз маршрути будуть відбуватися за наступними напрямками: Маріуполь, Нікольське, Розівка, Більмак, Пологи, Оріхів, Запоріжжя. Це перший канал. Ми плануємо вивезти біля 200 тисяч людей.
Now, Airbnb has suspended operations in Russia and Belarus and also stopped users of the home rental site from both countries from making any bookings in the company's latest response to Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. The home rental firm, which has almost 100,000 short-term rentals available across both countries, according to the market research firm AirDNA, has been vocal in its support of Ukraine. Now, the co-founder and chief executive of Airbnb, Brian Chesky, who has added the Ukrainian flag to his Twitter profile, tweeted the suspension in a one-line post. The company elaborated on Chesky's tweet, adding that the ban would extend to Airbnb members of those countries trying to book any bookings on the site. And that's all on Newslive, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. INEC fixes dates to suspend continuous voter registration. Lagos State government to probe use of Petrol as Souvenir at Party Plus. Protests in Paris and Berlin over Russian action on Ukraine. Many thanks for watching. I am Gemma Lee. Please stay tuned for the rest of our programs. Good night.